What's up, Frame Fitness? My name is Kathryn Zbarsky. I am a physiotherapist as well as a Pilates instructor, and I have programmed a wonderful athletic sequence for you today. I work with a ton of regular people as well as athletes, and everybody needs both mobility and stability. So we have a wonderful spinal mobility sequence, some hip mobility to get us warmed up, and then we're right into using our core, our glutes, our leg stabilizers, and a lot of shoulder work. So let's begin. We're gonna start with one heavy spring. You're gonna need your straps. The straps you're gonna place on your feet. So you're gonna go on and lie down now. Takes a minute to get used to how to position yourself on the carriage. It's okay if your glutes are falling off a little bit. The main thing is you want your head nice and supported. If I haven't said this before in my classes, it's really easy just to pat up your head with a towel at any point if that feels better with you. And we're just gonna start with a little lower and lift. I like to use my hands to just be aware and mindful of where my straps are moving in space. And you're just gonna work on finding your breath as the legs go straight down through the middle and straight back up towards the ceiling. Start to pair that with your breath, so thinking of your exhales as you lower and your inhales as you come up. And we're just starting to mobilize the hips, the hamstrings, and work on our spinal stability. We're gonna bring this into a short little ankle stretch. I feel this nice elongation in my calves. Can bend one knee and then the other. And then we're gonna find a nice wide-legged straddle pose. And just to make that a little bit more comfortable, we're gonna bend one knee so you're in a half happy baby. Find a nice deep stretch in through the first inner thigh, starting to warm up our hips and our muscles, and then switching. Opposite leg bends, opposite leg extends, and just breathing into this nice, easy intro. We're gonna move into a little bit of circles before we get going. So legs are gonna come down through the middle, and then we're gonna open them around, just enjoying that nice stretch. This is within your tolerance, so I want you to just adjust the range of motion, how far the legs open based on what you need and what feels good in your body today. We want to increase our range of motion before we start to get those muscles to work. Let's just do a couple reversing that direction. You'll feel a little bit more inner thigh abdominal connection through here. Last couple reps here. And then we're gonna start by warming up our thoracic spine. So just enjoying this strap work. Let's make this our last one. And then we're gonna gently take off the straps. You can enjoy a nice little overhead stretch if that feels good for you. Lowering down, we're gonna change our springs. So I'm gonna switch from that one heavy tension to one light. From there, we're gonna do a little thoracic rotation. So you're gonna position yourself into side lying. So I'm gonna come on my left side, and all we're doing is just using this strap to enjoy a little bit more mobility in our mid back. So you're gonna inhale, bring that arm up overhead. Again, don't worry about the straps crossing over your legs. You're gonna use that to help to open up the chest and the pecs as the arm comes straight down. So just a nice little intro for our thoracic spine and through our shoulder, which is what we're gonna work on in the next sequence. Don't be afraid to tuck the legs up or to position them around as feels good for you. You might get some nice little adjustments or cracks in your back. I just felt a couple there. We're gonna do two more, just enjoying this nice mobility. Again, positioning your hand to help comfort your head as you need to. And last one, let's just open up and feel a nice pec stretch here. Breathing into that, enjoying that mobility in through the shoulder, and exhale to let it all go. From there, we're gonna start with our oblique sequence. So we're gonna change our resistance. We're gonna pick up one medium and take off that light. Now, if you wanna have something a little bit heavier, that's totally fine. I'm gonna work on a resistance that feels good in my body. We're gonna start in kneeling. We're gonna grab onto this larger loop, and starting your exhales as you rotate, inhales back to center. Let's find 10 of these. Exhale to rotate for 2. Again, what you're trying to find is this nice thoracic rotation while you're keeping your hips and your pelvis nice and steady. Good, finding that breath. Imagining that it's your head, neck, shoulders, mid-back that are moving. Keeping your lower body, keeping your low back nice and steady. That's what we call dissociation of the spine. So you're moving one part while you're trying to stabilize the other. Almost there. We're gonna have a little hold at the end, and then we're gonna start our first side arms. So warming up shoulders as we mobilize our spine, putting that all together. Let's find 3 more, finding that nice work in through the midsection and core. 2 more, shoulders are obviously working. Last one, holding it over towards the left, just feeling that work in the core. Let's add on a couple small pulses for 5, for 4, for 3, good. Breathe into it, for 2, good. Last one. We're gonna bring it all the way back. We're gonna start with our shoulder work. I need 1 light spring for this, and then you can adjust your tension by holding on to the larger loop or the smaller one. So we're gonna start here with what I call a PNF, a diagonal shoulder move. You're gonna come from this closest hip pocket all the way up to the shoulder height. Now, if you're a little bit taller, your arms are a little bit longer, and you wanna grab on that larger loop to accommodate for that distance, that's totally fine. You've got 3. You want to feel that you're going from internal rotation to external rotation for 4. Let me show you what that looks like here. You can have this larger loop for 5. Nice, gives you a little bit more range. Good. 6 also made it a little bit easier for me, which is fine for now because we've got a nice sequence to get through. Good for 7. Nice, exhale for 8, good. Finding a little mini rotation as you go from one side to the other for 9. Same thing, we're gonna have a nice little hold, lifting it up, finding that hold, feeling the squeeze in the back of the shoulder, all that engagement through the core, and then slowly bringing that down. That's gonna transition us into a kneeling or a 4-point pull through. So using the bar for my hand here, I'm gonna pull underneath. Now, with that exercise we just did, this will be a little bit more challenging, and it's supposed to be that way. Take your breaks as you need to. Option to make this a little bit more stability work by extending that opposite leg. You'll start to notice me shake here. Remember that the carriage is an unstable surface. That makes things harder. Okay, so you're gonna feel your knee, your core, your everything start to work and wobble. Good. Let's find 3 more here. Got 7, good. Back of the shoulders starting to work. Nicely done, guys. Breathe into it. Bring it down to any time. My focus is my shoulder, and I want to make it so. Holding here, nice big stretch. You've got 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and all the way up. Nicely done. From there, we're gonna still work our shoulder, this time finding a side plank. You have options. You can come into kneeling. I'm gonna bring it up onto my toes. We're gonna hold here. My shoulder stabilizers are working, good. It's a 30-second hold. We're gonna bring on some pulses, finding that stability in through the core as we do it, good. Holding up, you've got another 10, and 9, and 8, good, almost there. For 7, we're gonna start the other side in 6, good. In 5, find your core, find your shoulder stability, root in through that mat. Last one, let's just hold it here. Option to float that top leg for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and done. Let's start that other side arm. We are ready to start our second side arm, and we're gonna start that with our side-lying thoracic rotation. So again, you're gonna be lying down on your side. You've got your 1 light spring on. You're gonna make yourself nice and comfy, pillow for your head, knees up in any position that feels good for you. And you're just gonna start finding that expansion and that mobility. Again, don't be afraid to let that strap cross over your leg. Make any modifications as you need to. The idea is that we're just starting to open up the shoulder, starting to open up the pec, feeling the rotation in the spine as we do so. So again, tuck the legs up in any which way that you need to, making those nice big circles. We're gonna do a couple more here, finding your breath and your expansion, getting any little cracks and adjustments in that feel good in your body. And we're gonna hold this one back. Let's find that nice stretch in through the pec, in through the bicep, holding through here, good, and then lightly bringing it back down. We're gonna start now, we're ready, we've warmed up our thoracic spine. We're gonna increase our spring tension off from that 1 light to that 1 medium. Again, you can change your springs. Mine are just guides, what feels good in my body. We're gonna find your rotations now. So you're gonna grab hold of your bigger loop. From there, we're gonna start to rotate over towards the right side. Exhale, find that rotation for 2. Again, making making any adjustments on the machine as you need to. You're gonna start to feel those shoulders open. You're gonna start to feel those shoulders start to work as you move in through this mid-back thoracic spine. Again, head is leading the way, watching where you're going, feeling that work and that engagement in the core and the shoulders, tying everything together. That's 6. Exhale, rotate for 7. You've got this. Exhale, rotate for 8. Good, almost there. We're gonna have that little hold at the end. This is 9. Good. Last one before we change the springs. Hold there. Find tiny little pulses for 5. Feel the shoulders work for 4. You've got this. For 3. Good, almost there. For 2. Nice. And last one. Good. From there, we're gonna change our spring load. We're down onto the 1 light spring. I always like to do a little check and make sure that I have my desired spring load. We're gonna grab that shorter loop again. You're going from that pocket towards the screen all the way over and up and through that opposite shoulder. I'm choosing what works best for my body and my size. The more that you use this machine, the more you're gonna start to figure out where you need to position yourself in space to get the most out of these straps, to get the most out of the tension, modifying as you need to on any given day. Both of these arms are gonna feel different. This one, way easier for me. I'm gonna keep the spring tension consistent as it was on the other side unless you have an injury. And again, we're going in from internal rotation to a bit of external rotation with that shoulder joint. Again, finding that internal rotation, a slight little bit of rotation in the body just to follow along. Good. We're gonna have a hold in 3, keeping that core steady in 2. Good. Last one, we're gonna bring it up and find our hold, feeling some work and engagement in the back of the shoulder just for 5, for 4, hold it tight for 3, eyes closed if you need to. Good. We're gonna find our pull through now. Keeping that spring tension consistent, I'm gonna pull the strap underneath my shoulder. I'm gonna keep with that smaller loop. Unless you want a little bit of lighter tension, then you're gonna grab onto that larger one, pulling through for 2. Good. Again, you have options. You want to make it a little more challenging for the core, send that leg back behind you. Again, for me, that takes the focus away from my shoulders on this one. So I'm going to keep really nice and strong in just this 4-point position. Good. We're going to go again for our 10th rep. This is 7. Feeling work in the front, both the front and the back of the shoulder. 8. Good. And 9. Last pull through here before we have our side plank. Finding that nice hold, squeeze the back of the shoulder, make it work. Last 3, last 2, and carefully drop that cable. Again, you have options. I'm gonna start on our knees, and from our knee position, we're gonna come up onto our toes. So holding here, and then when you're ready, you can send it all the way out. Top leg comes over here, so it's in the front. That helps us to find a little bit more core than it does back. From there, we're gonna find small pulses coming up either in this salute position with the elbow up or the arm up. Good. We're here for 30 seconds. You have 10 more. We're gonna start with our double arm work in 4. Good. In 3, you've got this. Last 2, and final hold, keeping it up, feeling the engagement, feeling the shoulder work, and gently bring it in. Whew, nicely done, guys. I am gonna add on to my spring load here. We're gonna put on 1 medium, option 1 medium, 1 light. I'm gonna keep the challenge of 1 medium, 1 light today. We're gonna grab both of our cables and you are facing your screen. From there, we're gonna find a little bit of bicep action integrated with the core in a roll down. So I'm gonna keep my elbows a slight distance away from our body. My heels are just on the edge, and you've got lots of room here. So if you're a little bit taller, you're just gonna move yourself backwards. We're gonna lean back, feel that core zip up and work, and we're gonna start to find some bicep curls. So our biceps are working both to hold our elbows away from our body as they are feeling this nice curled position. Good. So elbows are bending, elbows are straightening almost all the way, just avoiding that locking out end range. Good. Let's find 4 more. We're going to hold it in and roll back and start to engage the core a little bit deeper. In 2. And last one, feeling it up, holding it there. Feel your core lock in. You have enough room. You're going to start to slowly roll yourself back. Trust your body position. Trust that your core can hold you here without you flying back. Good. Last 3, and then we're gonna take off that one light spring unless you want that tension. Good. Last 2, and the last one, roll it back, holding it here, maybe adding on that little leg lift, maybe extending the legs out. Beautiful. And let's pulse with the arms for 5. Let it shake. Good. Let your core work for 3. Good. Pick a spot, hold it there. Good. And last one. Beautiful. We're going to be going back into that position. I'm just going to make a minor adjustment of my weights for something that feels a little bit better in my body. From there, I'm holding on to the straps. We're gonna start to find a little bit of a reverse fly. We just wanna get the back of the shoulders a little bit more. Feeling that nice openness in through the chest, option to float the legs. We've got 6 more. Feel the work, maybe thumbs up towards the ceiling, and then making sure that you're not initiating the motion through the wrists. You're keeping those wrists in a nice neutral position. Good, last 2. Nice, last one, let's hold it back, keep the work in the core, let's flutter the legs for 8, for 7, work the back of the shoulders, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and up all the way. Nicely done, guys. We're gonna add on a little bit of tricep work now. So coming onto your machine, you're gonna bring that bar into its highest position. Now, my triceps are pretty strong on my body. I'm gonna put on one heavy and either one medium, so one heavy, one medium, maybe one heavy, one light. We're gonna start with a double arm tricep press. So I'm coming into this bent over position. I've got my elbows in nice and tight, and you're gonna start to push yourself away. Keep in mind, the closer you bring your knees, the heavier you're gonna pick up that resistance. So make any adjustments you need to. We're starting with a little bit of this double press, and then from the double press, we're gonna find a single press. So that single press is gonna come up in 5, nice. In 4, beautiful. 3 more, still keep that core engaged, guys. Last 2. Good, last 1. Now we just wanna make sure those arms are working evenly. So I'm gonna take off my one heavy. My opposite arm is gonna come onto the carriage. You can even use that hand on that elbow just to make sure that those arms are working evenly. Good, and making sure that that elbow stays nice and tight by the side. Good, last 3. Last 2. I think single arm work is so important. Last 1. Right away, we're going into the other side. Again, securing that elbow if you need to keep that same height. We've got 8, good. First 7, first 6, first 5. We're gonna find a little heavy wheelbarrow chest press combination after this, good. In 3, almost there. You've got 2, good. Last one, still working in with that core, and then bringing yourself all the way in. From there, we're gonna come up onto our toes. You're gonna push away. Hands are underneath shoulders and forward, okay? So they're not super wide. You're keeping them a little bit more narrow. And you're gonna bring yourself in, feel your core work as you just slide yourself away. You're not gonna have a ton of movement before you get into the back of the machine, and that's okay, that's not necessary. We're just starting to feel how our core works to stabilize us while our arms are working to press us away and bring us in. The next time we press ourselves away, we're gonna hold it there. My heels are together, my toes are down, and then just starting to bend the knees in and send them out. Starting to transition a little bit more into our lower body work as our core and our shoulders are stabilizing us. Good. You've got 6, nice. You've got 5, beautiful. You might even feel a little stretch in through the calves and through the toes. And make sure you're centered. Both your left and your right arm are helping to stabilize you here. Last 2. We're gonna add a little push-up in if that feels okay for you. Bending in through the elbows, just 5 of them. Good. For 4, if this isn't where you're at, you can just hold your plank. For 3, good. For 2, beautiful. And last one, woo, nice job. So our bar is up and we're ready to go into our legs. So we're gonna start our legs on one medium, one light. Make sure you take off that heavy. I'm gonna start by lying on my left side. From there, head for a pillow again, and I'm gonna take my heel and place it on the bar. From there, pushing myself away, Bottom leg can either be tucked up or extended out. Use the strap if you need to help support you. And we're just pushing out and in. Feeling the work as we do it. Feeling your glutes start to engage, and we're just warming up. This is just our activation here, okay? Things are gonna get a little bit harder, so just enjoy where you're at for this place here. Good, for 4, nice. Exhale, press it out for 5. Again, not being shy with the spring tension. If you need to make adjustments, this is your workout, make those adjustments. Got 7, nice. And 8, we're gonna find our 12 reps here. You're gonna feel your quads start to work, but I want you to look for that glute too. For 10, beautiful. For 11, good. Last one to press it out. We're gonna bring it in and hold it. I want you to find a place where you feel your glute working. For me, this is the range I feel it the most. And we're gonna start to pulse from there for 12. And that's 11, good. Feeling those little presses for 10. We get to come up into standing after this. 9, good. And 8, again, feeling the quad, feeling the glute, but also reminding yourself of that core. Good. Again, for 6, small range of motion here, feeling where the work is for 5, nice. For 4, coming up into standing, you get to change positions in 3, in 2, and last one. You're gonna push it all the way out before you bring yourself all the way back in. From here, we're gonna adjust the bar. We're gonna bring that bar down. We're gonna keep the same tension on. The working leg is more so the one that is standing on the platform, but both are gonna be working. If you wanna challenge your glutes a little bit more, you can bring the toes so that they're slightly pointing towards each other, and you're gonna start to push the carriage out. Now, if this doesn't feel good for your hips, not everybody has this nice internal range of motion, you're gonna point your toes back to 12 o'clock, okay? Keep feeling the core work as you move through here. My standing platform leg is my leg that is feeling most of the love right now, and that's why we did the activation work to start off with, okay? So we're at 7. We're gonna be holding and going into some squats coming up shortly, and then we have a really fun series that I love to do with the strap in standing after this. Good. Let's find our 12th rep, again, working on keeping that core engaged. Last one, I'm gonna challenge you to find a place where you feel, again, your glutes working the most. For me, it's here. That's where I feel the shake. We're gonna start to squat down. And at any point, if you need to change how far this platform is away from the carriage, you just make that adjustment. We're working on trying to keep the carriage and the platform even distance away from one another. And it should be challenging enough that that's hard for you to do, okay? 5 more, we're gonna hold it down in 4, really thinking of spinning the heels out as you do it. Good, for 2. Last one, bringing it down, finding that hold, okay? Keep that hold there, shift your weight a little bit further back. We're gonna find small pulses opening up that carriage for 8. For 7, good, keep thinking of driving the knees out for 6. For 5, feel the work in the right side glute, mostly side glutes. Last 2, beautiful, almost there. Last one, and we're up into standing. Nice job, guys. We are gonna take that medium spring off. Make sure you have the resistance you desire. And then the working leg is gonna be on the outside of the machine. The gesture leg, as we call it, is gonna be on the inside. So that's my left one. Careful of your balance. It'll take a minute to set yourself up. From there, we're gonna start to find some kickbacks. So you're gonna notice as I wobble, as I kick that leg back. That's okay, that's the point. So we're working this leg as a stabilizer, as this left side leg is pressing out and in. You've got 5 more, good, 4 more. In a moment of balance loss, you have gentle fingertips on the screen, or you can always put your reformer box close by to help you. Last one, we're gonna hold it back. From here, we're gonna try to find single leg squats. I know this is challenging, and you're gonna try to keep that left leg still as you do it. So all of the work is coming from that leg that is on the floor, and of course, your core to stabilize you. Good. All right, find a spot on the floor and focus. This is 5. You've got 3 more to do, and you're going to hold it back. Good. Last 2. Last one, holding it back. This is a hip hinge challenge. Hands go behind my head. I'm finding a hip hinge. You're really gonna feel this wake up your glute. It's waking up my calf. Good. This is the most challenging part. We're gonna come out of this and find a lunge. 4 more. Good. Keep breathing. Focus on that spot on the ground for 3. Again, it's a fold at the hips with this one. For 2, whole torso's leaning forward. Good. No more holds or pulses. This is your last one. Gently take that strap off. You're going to transition yourself into a lunge on an angle facing your machine. The same arm as leg that was just on the ground and is still on the ground is picking up, choking up on that strap of the cable. You're going to find this lunge position, this time more of a split squat, and we're going to find a row here. So yes, we're rowing with the arm, but also what we're doing is we're keeping that work in this standing leg. It's holding us in space isometrically, meaning it's not moving. It's holding to just keep us there nice and steady. I feel so much work in my glutes here, which is so nice. We're going to hold the arm back in 3. Almost there, guys. Keep breathing. Last 2, focus on also feeling that really nice back work. Hold here. Here's our split squat to finish. You've got 8. Good. Breathe. 7. Nice. And 6. And 5. Legs are first. Arm is second. 4. And 3. And 2. And last one. Beautiful. Strap comes down. Your final move to finish off this leg is a reverse floor lunge. We're going to bring it to the back. I'm going to slip my left foot underneath the strap. I'm going to hop this leg forward a bit to give myself a nice range of motion. Again, we're working in 8 rep ranges. We're coming down. Again, if you are taller, hop your foot up more. The work is in this standing leg, and you're going to focus on finding this fold forward at the hips as you lower down and forward, and as you come up and back. So think of that 2-part motion. This is 3. You should be feeling so much wonderful work in your glutes, in your core, and so much stability work. This is why it's an athletic class. These are moves that take concentration and connection to the body. The choreography is not overly complicated, but it's there to help you connect to your body, connect to your stabilizers. Last 2, and then we're going to put a small little spin on this. Last one coming up. If this doesn't work for your body, just go back to what we were doing before. If it's available to you, you're just positioning that leg a little bit out on an angle, and we're going to find some curtsy lunges. This is 8. Last move, I promise, on this leg. Good. You've got 7. Let the wobbles happen. You have 6. Nice. Feel the work. Feel the foot, the ankle stability. That's so much about what being athletic is about. Having stability, having control through range. Good. 4 more to finish and we're done. Let's just breathe and get through this. For 3, I'm going to make you hold it at the bottom to finish. Last 2, good. Find that spot on the floor to find your balance, good. Last one, let's hold it down, leaning forward, extending that back leg, good. Find your core, just hold and breathe. For 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Carefully get yourself out of this, and we are ready for the other side. All right, team, we are ready to move on to our second leg. You're going to make sure that that bar is back up into that high position and your spring tension is set onto 1 medium and 1 light. From there, the good news is we get to lay down. Remember that you can make any adjustments to your spring tension. So I've made recommendations. You might want more tension, you might want less tension, but this is our activation move. So be mindful that we're going to make things a whole lot harder coming up soon. Right now, you're focusing on feeling that glute on that left side start to work. And again, if you want to pick up a little bit more tension without making any changes, you'll just slide yourself down a little bit, all right? Almost there. Feeling that core work. You're going to feel your quad, but I want you to try to mentally connect to where your glute is. Going nice and slow, trying to keep your pelvis as steady as possible. The more you wobble back and forth, the less that glute is actually gonna work for you. So now I'm gonna ask you to identify a position where you feel your glute starting to work the most. Find that position and hold it. From here, we've got 12 pulses before we're up into standing. This will bring on your inner quad. That's a good thing. Feel the inner quad, but mentally connect to that glute and find it. Keep breathing, engage it, really root through that heel. For 5 more, we get to come up into standing in 4. Good, making that core work. You've got 3. Almost there for 2, good, pelvis is steady. Last one, press it out and slowly bring it in. We're gonna bring that bar down so we can come on up into standing. Spring tension is gonna stay constant. You've got your left foot on the platform, right foot on the carriage. You're gonna push away, little bit of internal rotation with the feet, meaning the feet face inwards, heels are outwards, as you press that carriage in and out. Connecting into your glutes, connecting into your core, and then making changes. So if you wanna have less tension, you're gonna walk those feet out a little bit wider. The closer they are to the edge of this carriage, the more tension you're gonna pick up on this machine. That's what makes the reformer so beautiful. These little micro adjustments we can make to make it harder, easier, or better for our bodies. Almost there. We're gonna be holding the carriage out. And again, if you wanna turn those toes back to 12 o'clock, if that feels better in your hips, that's exactly what you're gonna do. Last 2, we're holding it out to squat. And last one, keeping core engaged, finding that position where your glutes are working the most. Any changes you need to make. And then your goal is to keep this carriage steady as you're squatting up and down. Think about spinning the heels outwards, almost like the feet are coming inwards to really wake up your glute med and your glute mid. Those are those massive stabilizers of your hips on the outside of your glutes, of the big glute max. We're gonna hold it down and find little pulses out and in to finish in 2. Last 1 more, bringing it down. Let's keep it honest, good. And then tiny little pulses out and in for 8, good. For 7, we have my favorite part of the sequence coming up in 5, making sure those glutes are working, your core is on. You're not cheating yourself by leaning too far forward. You're keeping the work back in the heels, good. Last 2, beautiful. Last one to push it out, and then bringing yourself back in. Now, both legs, you would have felt a little bit more there because our right side's already done a ton of work for us. We're changing our springs to that one light, and this is where we're gonna pick up the cable. So remember, the cable is coming onto the inside foot. The left foot is the one that's down onto the floor, and we're gonna start those kickbacks. All of us are gonna have one side that's a little bit harder or a little bit easier. Hop that foot in as much or as little as you need to, and then pick that spot on the floor. You're working into this front leg. We're working in reps of 8, finding our stability, thinking of spinning the left glute back, thinking about keeping the work really nice and heavy in the heel. Again, in a pinch, light fingertips on the screen, move your box, find a prop or a chair or something, and hold it back here. We're gonna find those single leg squats for 8. Good. Let that ankle work. 7. And 6, connecting stability, mobility, core strength. Good for 5. We're gonna hold it down in 4. We're gonna find that's the most challenging part in my mind in 3. Good in 2. And last one, holding it down. Keep the hold here. We're gonna find those hinges for 8. Good, breathe into it. Let's focus for 7. Nice, letting that glute work. This side is so much harder for me. That's okay. That's what we want to do. We want to find those imbalances in our body and we want to work through them. We've got 5, nice. Little more tension for me to push back into my right leg to keep it stable. For 3, good. We're gonna find that row in 2. And last one, legs coming down. You'll notice that that was a lot lighter range of motion for me on that side. That's okay, that's what we're working into. We're finding the rows. The row is gonna come into that inside leg again. You're gonna squat down and hold it as you row that arm back. Again, the priority here is what's happening in the leg. This is our leg series. This arm is rowing back, focusing the work on this left side glute. We're gonna find 5. Nice, pulling back, squeezing back line of the body for 6. Good, first 7. Last one, bringing it back and holding it here. Keep the hold, keep the squeeze, start to find those squats. Again, I'm gonna choke up on that cord a little bit more to make it better for my range of motion. For 3, good, breathing for 4. Nice, spinning that left glute back, feeling the core engage for 5. Pick your spot on the floor, find your focus, 6. Good, root through that heel, 7. Last one, hold it there, and then slowly bringing yourself up. We've got our reverse floor lunge to finish. Right foot's gonna slip underneath that strap. Don't press down heavily on the screen, but any little wobbles you need to get yourself back there. Picking that range of motion that works best for you. Lunging into this leg to finish. This is our finisher. Last move to do for our legs, a little core series, and you guys are done. This has been so much work for your balance, for your stability, working through those wobbles, not expecting it to look perfect. Depending on how you've slept, how you hydrated, what you did last night, what you did the day before, these balance and stability moves are gonna look so different. All right, almost talked through the end of it for you guys. 4 more. We've got that curtsy lunge to finish. We're so close to being there for 3. Good, for 2. Not rushing through. Last one, finding a little bit of a pause and hold, good, and then slowly bringing it up. From there, we're just gonna position the legs slightly out to the side, good, and you've got these curtsies. Again, noticing how this side feels a little bit different. Take a deep breath. Whew. So close. 2, good, let it work. Work into this internal rotation. The curtsy lunge helps to find internal rotation of the hip, which helps to wake up our glutes. Glute max, fun little fact, likes external rotation. Glute med and glute min needs a little more internal rotation to make it active. Almost there. Last 4. Pick your spot, find your core. Good, you've got 3. We've got our finisher at the end. Last 2, not rushing through. We're gonna find those little deadlift variations. Last one, holding it there. Keep the hold. You've got 8. You've got 7. Almost done. Breathe. You've got 6. We're gonna find some core work if it's not already on for this. Good. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. That was amazing, guys. Great job. We're gonna finish with a little core series here. We're gonna start keeping 1 light spring on the machine. You have options. In fact, I'm gonna take this off and give myself a little bit more of a challenge. So we're on to 0 now. Knees are on the platform, forearms are down. From here, you're gonna bring your heels together, find nice strength and stability through the shoulders. We're gonna start to find your saw. I want you to try to keep your head in line with your spine. I want you to find your breath. We've just done so much really good work for your legs. Your core has been an asset, has been a stabilizer, but has not been the prime mover. So we're gonna get it going a little bit more here. Good, let's find that nice core work. Let's find that neutral spine. Big breath, 5 more. We're gonna start to add on some crunches, and then we're gonna pop up onto our toes. If for any reason you wanna add on that extra spring when we go onto our toes, I'm gonna cue you into that. Not jumping ahead, keeping our focus and attention to where we are. Let's add on those crunches. 1 saw, 1 crunch. Good, let's find 7 more. Move slowly. I want you to think of a nice, slow 3 to 4 count out, 3 to 4 count in, rounding through the spine, and repeat. The slower you move, the more those stabilizers are going to work for you. Let's find 2 more. Really nice, guys. Nice, slow pace. Embrace and feel the shakes. Let's hold it out and pulse. We're going to pop up onto our toes in 6, in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2. Don't let your head sink down. Nice, strong, stable shoulders, and bring it back in. Again, option to add on. Let's actually just put that one light on. Let's give us some nice control and stability. Onto the toes. We've just done a ton of work for the back line of the body. We're going to find a little length with this pike, and then find the nice stable position of your plank. This is our plank to pike, making that nice V, staying high up on the toes as you do it. We're going to find 8 more here. Good. Let's go for 7. Nice control, moving super slow. We're going to find a little twisted series after this. Beautiful work, guys. Feel both sides of your core engage. Head follows in line with the rest of your spine. Not rushing through. Maybe feeling a little stretch in the bottoms of those feet because you're so nice and high. We're going to hold it up. Feel the work in through the shoulders. Looking down at your toes, we're going to find knee bends, so little bear hovers. For 5, we're going to find our twisted series in 4, in 3, in 2. Last one, we'll drop the knees to a hover, find a hold, send it out 1 inch further. Last few breaths here. We're going to come into a twisted saw in 3, in 2, and last one. Good stuff. I'm going to go back to that 0 spring tension just to make this a bit more challenging. We're going to have the knees down as if they were in a right side plank, and the forearms are going to be down like they're in a front plank. From there, we're just finding these small little saws out and in. Really feeling that right side core, again, keeping head in line with your spine. We're going to go into a very similar series, adding on that crunch like we did in our front series. And now we're going to crunch. So it's going to be 1 saw, 1 crunch. Again, moving really nice and slow. 1 saw, 1 crunch. We've got 4 more. And then we're going to find a little hold out. In 3. Nice rounding of the spine. In 2. Keep the focus. Let's find our crunch pulses on this one to finish. We're going to pulse it for 8. For 7. We're going to find our other side in 6. In 5. In 4. Good. Keep breathing. Keep the core engaged. You guys have worked so hard. Last 2 and last 1. We're going to find the same small series facing the other way. Knees are spun into a left side plank. Forearms are down like they're in a front plank. From there, you're going to find your saws, sending that carriage out and in, working slowly, working with control. Strong shoulders, strong core. 4 more, and we're going to start to round the spine. Good, you've got 3. Notice the funny things you do with your feet when you're trying to find tension. See if you can relax them a little bit. Last one, and we add on that crunch. We're going to go for 8. Beautiful. Got a little center core finisher, and then we are done. Bringing in, you've got 5. Feel that left side body light up. You've got 4. Getting a little sweaty in here now. Last 3. We're going to find those crunch pulses in 2. And last one, we're going to make those little crunch pulses happen for 8. For 7, changing spring load. I'm going to coach you through that in 4, in 3, in 2, and last one. All right, my favorite part about this machine, we're going to pick up a little light tension from the back. This is going to allow us to pull against the resistance of the machine. If this does not feel good in your body, you can take that right off. Otherwise, we're going to finish with a nice little wheelbarrow here. And you'll notice with this spring from the back how much of a shake I get in my body. You're going to find one little set of wheelbarrows, one little set of saws using this back tension, and you guys are done. Fight through this last minute of work. This is where it really counts. Your whole body has been worked. Everything has been challenged today. Find your breath, find your core. We're going to find 5 more. Coming down to our forearms for a hold in 4. Almost there, guys. Fight through this. Keep your core engaged. Good. Keep a nice neutral spine. No pulses on this one. You're going to go right down to the forearms. From here, we're going to find a couple of saws, a hold, and you are done. Last 3, last 2, and last one, just feel the work, feel the stability, hold it there. Little hip dips from side to side. Option to pop up onto your toes. I'm going to keep it here for 6. Good. For 5. Re-engaging those obliques for 4. For 3. For 2. And last one. Nicely done. You're going to very gently let that go. Roll yourself up. We're going to change our spring tension and just find a little hip flexor stretch to finish. I'm going to bring it back to the front. Pop on that one light spring. And just feeling a really nice stretch. Let your abs be a part of this stretch. We just finished with so much really good oblique and core work. Let's bring that into our hamstring stretch. Leaning forward, maybe pointing toes towards your nose. We're going to switch to the other side. Right foot on the floor, left leg back. Finding that length, again, letting your obliques and your core lengthen. Finding that hamstring stretch. We are going to lie down on our backs. We're going to find a nice figure 4 glute stretch. And you guys are home free. Oh, we've worked really hard today. I know I've challenged you with a ton of different moves, feeling legs and ankles and everything wobble and shake. So let's just enjoy this. Just massaging, finding your deep breaths. And let's switch to the other side. Opening that leg, feeling a nice stretch in through the glute. And let's just start to calm down our breath. One more time, nice big inhale. And exhale. Let it all go. You guys made it. That was our 50-minute athletic reformer class. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.